Kella made it clear to the group that breaking the weird statue was the most important thing right now. He signaled Shrills to stall the enemies while he handled the rest. Without wasting time, she threw up a massive firewall. Kella figured if the statue was stopped from casting magic, the monsters would lose control too. So he made a bold move, jumped up and slammed straight into it. He actually managed to punch a hole through the thing but crash landed afterward. Shrills couldn't believe it. He'd broken inside the statue. But just when they thought things might calm down, the golem suddenly switched targets and rushed at Shrills, confusing her completely. Meanwhile, Rin noticed that a treasure spider had started moving. It was heading straight for the statue. Wood pointed out that maybe only the spider could get through that gap because of its size. Rin wasn't thrilled. They had enough problems already, and now the golems were charging too. Wood said if things got worse, they might all have to fight together, but Shrills wasn't having it. They were too beat up already. She stepped in and threw up a protective shield to stop the golems. Rin looked worried for her, but Shrills insisted they put their faith in Kella. Up above, Kella spotted something glowing on the ceiling, probably the thing controlling everything. He took aim at it with his bow. But bad luck struck again. The treasure spider got there first and webbed Kella up tight. He was totally stuck and frustrated that this had to happen now of all times. Shrills and the others were barely holding out and were counting on him to finish things fast. But he felt helpless. He just wasn't strong enough. The spider lifted one of its sharp limbs and pointed it at him. Kella realized he was done for if he didn't act. Then something strange happened. His vision darkened, and he found himself falling into a pitch-black void. There, a shadowy figure mocked him. It scolded him like he was a fool for getting messed up by such low-level creatures. Kella couldn't figure out why this thing only showed up now. Where was it during all the other times he almost died? The figure didn't hold back. It told him straight up to stop being useless and use something called vassal. Kella didn't even know what that was. At first, he thought it had something to do with a childhood pact he made with Rin, but the figure snapped and said no. It was way beyond that. Turns out, Kella carried the blood of a legendary demon king, passed down through generations, and that blood gave him a special power, the ability to take control of monsters if his will was strong enough. The dark figure explained that this vassal skill would let him make any creature weaker than him bow down and follow him, as long as his desire was powerful. Kella focused hard, calling out that desire deep within. The figure told him to reach out and claim every monster he could sense. That was the final push. Suddenly, Kella's eyes lit up bright blue. He'd awakened the vassal ability. Back in the real world, the spider felt the change instantly. Kella stood up and stared at it with intense focus. The spider froze. That glowing gem on its body, it changed color, no longer blue, now a deep purple. It meant one thing: it had submitted to him. Then something wild happened. Kella felt a weird pulse. A kind of HUD appeared in his mind, showing him a slot with the spider's image in it. It was like a game inventory. The spider lowered itself and bowed. Kella didn't need anyone to explain it. He'd successfully made the spider his. Back outside, the barrier Shrills had put up was crumbling. The golems were about to break through. She yelled out, desperate for backup. Kella didn't waste time. He burst onto the scene, riding the spider like a boss, but he knew just one wasn't enough. He needed to take over the rest too, so he aimed for the core inside the statue, a glowing, slime-like mass, and used vassal again. His goal was simple: take that thing for himself and gain full control. Right when the giant golems were about to smash through Shrill's barrier, they suddenly froze. Everyone was caught off guard, especially Shrills and Rin. But then Wood pointed something out. It was Kella. He showed up riding that treasure spider, holding a squishy slime in his hand like it was some rare prize. Turned out, the slime was actually the dungeon's boss. That shocked everyone. Kella couldn't believe something that small was running the whole place. He found it kind of ridiculous, but also cool. He started messing with the slime, rubbing it on his face like it was a fluffy pet. Shrills guessed it must be some kind of advanced slime enhanced by crazy-level magic. She also admitted she'd never heard of Kella's new power, and it made sense. She didn't have the same bloodline. Rin chimed in, saying she'd always wondered how the Demon King could control so many monsters. Now it finally made sense. This power called Vassal. With the Dungeon Master slime now under his control, Kella figured it was only a matter of time before the whole place was his. He noticed the slime had little chunks of rock stuck to it, so he gave it a nickname, Stone. Rin couldn't believe he actually named it, and Shrills got a bit jealous, wishing she could use the same power. But Kella knew it wasn't that simple. While everyone was focused on that, Wood was thinking deeper. If someone had created a monster like this slime, where was that person now? Judging by how old and worn down everything was, she guessed they either left ages ago or something bad happened. Rin assumed they probably just moved out long ago, but Shrills had a darker thought. They might all be gone for good. Kella didn't know for sure, but he felt a little bad for the slime. It had been stuck here all alone until now. He thought back to that mysterious being he met in the abyss, the one that unlocked his power. If not for that meeting, he would have already been dead. He wondered what triggered that encounter, but nothing came to mind, so he decided to focus on the present. Kella told everyone it was time to turn the place into their dungeon. First thing on the list, map everything out. With Stone now his vassal, Kella gained control over all the monsters the slime used to command, too. To make sure no one snuck up on them, they set up a defense plan. Small spiders guarded the front, some golems were stationed at the split paths, and the rest, along with the big spider, were placed in the main hall. Next, they sorted through a bunch of weapons they found stashed inside the statue. Rin grabbed a pair of daggers and wondered if they'd help her fight better. Shrills explained those blades could amplify her demonic power and sharpen her attacks. Rin was pumped. She wanted to protect Kella, especially from whatever nonsense the white-talking thing would bring next. They asked Wood if she was happy with her gear. She was holding a simple wooden shield, but it still looked alive somehow, filled with natural energy. She liked it, so they let her keep it. Kella figured it must be an elf thing, how they sense energy in weird ways. Shrills picked up a staff. It didn't seem magical at first glance, but she felt something. Kella looked over the swords and was drawn to one that didn't look all that special. Even when Shrills recommended another blade, he stuck with the one in the center. It reminded him of a weapon he used in an old game, so he took it. It felt like finding an old friend. Once everyone had their gear, they used the map and started building their new base. The land was rough and didn't have much to work with, but they made do using mud, stones, and water. With Wood's nature knowledge, Shrill's magic, and Kella's map, they crafted the place from the ground up. It wasn't fancy, but it was theirs. To Kella, it was a rough little dungeon made with scraps, but it was the first one he built with his own hands. It might even be the last. Still, he was proud of it. While they finished setting things up, falcon-like creatures watched from the skies, acting as their lookouts. Kella turned to Stone and asked if it liked the new place. The slime gave off a happy vibe, and Kella smiled. For the first time, things felt peaceful. As long as they stayed under the radar and avoided that pain-in-the-neck Talon, life wouldn't be too bad. Of course, that peace didn't last. Something shiny flew toward the dungeon, a glowing butterfly. It slipped past the falcons without setting off any alarms. And just like that, trouble was back.